Hola, cage fighting connoisseurs. This is KidNativeBloodyElbow.com, joined once again by Eugene S. Robinson, author of Fight, Everything You Ever Wanted to Know About Ass Kicking, but were afraid you get your ass kicked for asking.
Yeah, man, you see a little competitive pressure. There you go.
Now it's nailed. It's like in there. Steel trap, Eugene. Steel trap. Pro like myself, it only takes 3 years to learn the name of your book. And we are here for the Care Don't Care preview for UFC Dublin, Poirier versus Duffy, happening Saturday in Ireland on Fight Pass.
What?
Huh?
What? Who?
What? Huh?
Never mind. Yeah, okay.
Well, even Duffy was shocked that he was on the.
How do you? That's like the guy who the cute chick in the bar is like, "Hey, I want to talk to you," and the guy looks behind him, makes that fatal mistake, or like me at the UFC press conference when Amber was like shooting me to look, and I kind of go, "Is it me or is it the guy behind me?" I can't imagine it's me, right?
Yeah, you can't show that lack of confidence, but we do need a disclaimer from you, Eugene.
The disclaimer: crybabies, bedwetters, and fighters who might be crybabies and bedwetters. This is less about your personal skills and talents as a fighter or a human being, and much more to do with the marketing heft and might put behind you by the UFC. So don't take it personally. Move from the don't care to care by fighting a great fight, and it'll be different tomorrow. We promise. Crybaby.
That's right. It's not you. And it's not us. It's the UFC. That's
yeah. Well, and the UFC, the UFC, a fireman doesn't fight a fire where there's no fire. So you fight a fiery fight, you got the fireman there throwing all kinds of stuff on it. Unless, of course, you're Chris Weidman, and then the fact that there's no institutional love for you is completely confusing to everybody.
Well, they gave him some new All-American Reebok shoes, I believe.
It's like when Oxbow got sponsored by Onitsuka Tiger. All right, the sponsorship checks are coming in. What do we get? Sneakers.
Hey, you got to wear shoes. I mean,
well, I'm looking at it the wrong way. I got sneakers in the bag.
That's right.
There you go.
Sneakers you didn't have to pay for. So, did you see the new UFC Ireland shirt that Reebok put out?
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, lock in and put through the slide.
It's got Ireland is UFC territory, it says, and it's got one big green Ireland, like it's all one big country. So, yeah. Conor McGregor's coach has already demanded an apology to the Irish fans for Reebok.
You know what? If anybody, Marty, wait! Don't lock me in. Put the key in through the slot. Oh, I see. Never mind. Sorry, man. I'm about to get locked in here. I'm getting panicky.
You're afraid to do some advertising for Leopoldo Serral's Academy? You could be a living advertisement. You'd be in there behind the glass windows working out.
Right, stuck here forever like a diorama.
I mean,
this is the thing. I'm sorry to say to our friends in the British Isles, you guys are kind of touchy about all this stuff.
Are you going to blame the victim now? You're going to blame the victim.
I'm just saying that you're a little touchy. That's all.
Well, when people are getting bombed and killed, and it's been a while since there's been...
I don't know, and somebody might turn around and say, oh, yeah, well, 400 years ago, you're getting a little touchy about slavery, and that's an actual fact. I'm not touchy about slavery at all, I mean, I have a friend, Declan. Declan is in...
Are your best friends are Irish? Is that why you can
no.
these things?
And he, in full-blown bitterness, would tell me about going to London and asking for directions, and nobody would give it to him, because he had his Irish accent. I was like, shit, man, tough. Okay.
Things are ugly, but let's move on to the fights, which are also kind of ugly. We're going to race through this quick because I promise you there's not a lot of cares on this card. It takes place Saturday evening Irish time, but if you're in the U.S., it starts at 1 p.m. Eastern on Fight Pass. So you can keep up with that, right, Eugene? Fight Pass.
You know what I discovered? It's really weird. I have this new pay system that allows me to it notifies me of my charges via phone. I mean, I clearly it's to protect American Express, but it's supposed to benefit me as well. I just discovered that apparently I've signed up for Fight Pass in perpetuity. I thought it was like a special offer. I was like $9.99. Jesus Christ. Oh, I got it, you
Is
know.
this your first time with an internet service? That's how they all work, Eugene.
Yeah, and Boingo. I got to write a note actually. Boingo, I was in
Is
the
that
air.
the airport Wi-Fi
Yeah,
thing?
I was in the airport in Denmark 2 years ago, and I've been paying for Boingo apparently ever since. I got to get it off there, you know.
Yeah, that's bread right out of your kids' mouths, Eugene.
Yep.
That's your college tuition.
Anyway, all
But
right. So here we go.
let's move to the card. We've got first up middleweights. And again, this is on Fight Pass, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, United States time, Saturday afternoon. Middleweight, Bubba Bush versus Gareth McClellan.
Man, I feel bad. I don't care.
His name is Bubba Bush. Isn't that a good? I mean, I'm already intrigued, but
Well, you know, we did have that. We did have George W. Bush, the fighter, who was related. You remember him?
I've forgotten this. How did I block this out?
Yeah, he was a fight. He was like a Facebook friend, or maybe it was MySpace days, a MySpace friend for a period of time. But I just couldn't, in good conscience, keep him on there, man. I was like, yeah, and, Hitler's got relatives around somewhere too, but I just,
Man, had to kind of loose.
I don't want to be thinking about Auschwitz every time, like, I like one of your posts, or in this instance, think about, Abu Ghraib every time I like one of your posts. So he goes, I'm my own man. I go, yeah, okay.
Change your name. All right. So, featherweight, Robert Whiteford versus Darren Elkins.
I care.
Yeah, I care too. Darren Elkins, somebody I've been following since he got a decision he didn't deserve against the Japanese guy. I can't remember who the Japanese guy was, but
so are you picking Elkins for this one?
yeah, I'll pick Elkins, just sight unseen. I don't know anything about Robert Whiteford.
Well,
I've seen Whiteford fight, but I can't.
First of all, we do have to. Can we yank the curtain back for a second and tell people what they're really seeing? What they're
Here on
really
the show, two guys who kind of pay attention to what they're talking about.
I know. What we're seeing now, we're seeing an attempt.
You're not even sweaty today. Did you really work out?
Yeah, it was gi.
So you just, I see.
You sweat inside the gi, you vomit inside the gi. It's all inside the gi. My gi is drenched with sweat. So
I see. All right. So you wear your gi over your head?
well, these guys are getting tired of being brutalized by me. I got a competition on Sunday, so I've been taking it easy.
I see. Coasting a little bit. All
Yeah.
right. We'll see how that works.
But I haven't told them I'm taking it easy. So I've created the illusion that we're really rolling. And so some of the white belts are like, oh, shit, I'm getting better. I'm like, okay.
Did Dream Crusher teach you these tricks?
Oh, man, this place is, it is rife. Like the I was on a 6-month program of I had to let somebody beat me in the first minute and look him in the eye and say, good one, buddy, and not reveal at all what I was trying to do, because it had been determined that I was spending too much time going for the submission and had too much ego involved. So I couldn't tell him what was happening. I had to make it realistic, and I had to do it for 6 months.
That must have been a good lesson for you.
It was fucking tough.
And this was in your late 40s or early 50s?
This is 2 years ago.
So this was in mid 50s.
Yeah, I was mid 50s. I was 51. I was 51.
Early 50s.
Looking the guy in the eye afterwards and said, man, that's a good one, buddy. That was tough. And that was, some guys finally figured it out, because it's like, no fucking way. No way.
Did they gloat? Did any of them ever?
Oh, I could see the little secret smile of self-satisfaction pass across. But, you had to take it.
When I was in college, I had two buddies who were both kind of lunatics, and it was Friday or Saturday night, and they were drunk, and they were taking turns racing the motorcycle around the apartment complex parking lot. A terrible idea, right? And they're both incredibly competitive and macho, and they're like, they have it down to 40 seconds is the winning time, and they're both kind of terrified when they're not, doing it. And so the one guy's like, it's the other guy's turn. He's like, tell him he won. Tell him he broke the record. Tell him he broke the record, right?
So he's saying that so they could stop.
So they could stop, right? Because he didn't want to die in a bike wreck in an apartment complex. So my buddy crosses the finish line. Everybody goes, yay, you won, And then he starts gloating. And immediately it all, it blew up. Yeah, fuck you, you didn't, yeah. So anyway, that was.
Hold on, I'm sorry. 1 second. Hello. I'm right in the middle of the show, but yeah. Oh, perfect.
He really needs to put it on speakerphone. I don't know why I'm listening. I should be talking, but Eugene's taking phone calls. He does this on his own
sorry,
show. Now he's doing it.
I'm sorry. You guys talk, Kid Nate. Go ahead.
All right, I'm talking. So we'll keep moving. But Darren Elkins got the infamous win over Hatsuhioki, which was part of derailing Hatsuhioki's seemingly promising UFC career, but it really didn't add up to anything. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? No idea what Eugene's phone call is, but and now I want to get ahead with the card, but now it's paining me. It's paining me. I'm going to predict that he cares about the next fight, which features Cathal Pendred versus Tom Breeze, although nobody likes Cathal Pendred. I'm going to predict he doesn't care about women's strawweight Aisling Daly versus Erica Almeida. I'm going to predict that Eugene does not care about Scott Askham versus Krzysztof Jotko, although the Polish thing, maybe. I'm not sure that Krzysztof is Polish, but anyway. Flyweight Neil Seery versus John De Los Reyes. I'm going to give that an even bet that Eugene cares about that because Seery is fun. Lightweight Stevie Ray versus Michael Labout. No way Eugene cares about that. Main card, there's only 4 fights on the main card. This is an extremely thin card, I got to say. I'd say welterweight Nicholas Dalby and Darren Till. Welterweights, no, he's not going to care about that. Lightweight Norman Park versus Reza Madadi.
I don't really understand.
I'd say he's going to care about that. He's going to care about that. Flyweight Patrick Holohan versus Louis Smolka. I bet he cares about this one. Main event Dustin Poirier and Joseph Duffy. I say he will care about that one. So that's, yeah. And Krzysztof Jotko is Polish, so a good chance Eugene will care about that being a admirer of things Polish. So,
you know what I want?
Now I got nothing. I could talk about the presidential campaign. Because, boy, what an exciting clusterfuck that is turning out to be. The American powers that be know how to put on a circus to entertain the hoi polloi while they distract us from important things they're doing in our name.
I'm sorry, I don't know.
You can see Eugene's tat on his.
I don't know what he means, and he's getting offended. Take the fuck out of there.
Eugene's getting salty. Might be worth listening to, but now I can't hear anything else. Anyway, so let's see. What do we got?
How much?
And Poirier versus Duffy, of course. The reason Duffy's headlining is because he has a submission victory over the superstar Conor McGregor from back in the day when they were both on the Irish circuit. That's the only man to defeat Conor McGregor, and it was a stoppage win. Duffy's now fighting at lightweight against former featherweight Dustin Poirier. So if he wins and continues to win, and if Conor McGregor, I guess.
Oh, he's getting offended? Tell him to get the fuck out of there.
Oh. Thanks for getting serious with Eugene.
Send him away. All right, sorry, man.
That's all right. That's all right. It sounded like it was contentious.
Fucking A. You know, I mean, it's not my fault. The guy's got heavily accented, and he's like, I'm trying to help you out. I said, I'm sorry, I don't understand what you mean. He's like, well, if you're not gonna, blah, blah. I was like, I'll fucking kill you. I will literally fucking kill you. Get that shit out of the fucking house, you know? Get out, take your shit, beat it, you know? So
this is a vendor or workman doing something.
Fucking time trying to get the fucking dishwasher installed, you know? And the guy's like, well, I can't do a Home Depot installation. I could do it. And I said, okay, how much is it gonna cost? And now he's ranting in the background about, I don't like his attitude. I will fucking kick your monkey ass all over the front yard. Don't make me leave Bloody Elbow right now to do this.
Although if you took a GoPro camera, I'm sure the fans would.
God, I find that fucking guy. Oh man,
It's just a dishwasher, Eugene.
Sorry, hold on. Okay.
That's right. You're a grown man. Grown man. Calm down. Easy. Deep breath. So I went through the card and predicted which ones you're going to care about.
Oh, okay. All right.
If you ever go back and watch the show, you'll be astounded at how well I know you, inside and out.
All right, well, just go through them quickly then.
All right, quickly. Welterweight, Cathal Pendred versus Tom Breeze.
I care.
Exactly. And that's not even his name. It's Cathal. How do you say that? You got any idea? Cathal.
You know, I've got lots of friends in Ireland.
Yeah, so I care, and I predicted you'd care, but you're not a Pendred fan, are you? No, nobody is. The guy is dull. All right, women's strawweight, Aisling Daly versus Erica Almeida.
Don't care.
I predicted it, and I don't care either. Middleweight Scott Askram versus Krzysztof Jotko.
No, don't care.
Okay, see, I thought maybe there was a slim chance since Jotko's Polish.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean,
yeah, it's not like your girlfriend's even going to be watching the card with you, is it?
No, she usually does.
Does she get like pumped for Polish fighters?
No, she's more interested. I try to get her to translate what the corners are saying. Mostly, they have the corner cam on, which she does to varying degrees of interest. But yeah. So,
all right. So, flyweight Neil Siri versus John De Los Reyes.
I care.
Yeah, because
Siri.
I predicted it. I nailed it. And Siri's fun as heck, I have to say. So, and I have no idea if he's going to win or not, but kind of a journeyman. Siri.
Yeah. I found it interesting. I found it interesting that Gustafsson actually said this week. He goes, you know, the ego booing that DC has been involved with, talking about he's, you know, really trying. I mean, I think DC was trying to do a very human thing of helping the guy out, a guy who's clearly fucking hurting. But then also, I think DC, there was a certain amount of self-interest involved because, you know, the possibility of a series, though I don't know that anybody gives a fuck about that. But he finally, it seems like maybe he's moved from this funk because he had this thing where he said, look, I'm not in it to be a journeyman. I'm in it for the championship, which of course made me chortle and go, whatever, man.
Well, I think if John Jones moves out of the division, that Gustafsson still has a chance, maybe at some point. Cormier's older.
Yep.
And it's entirely possible. I think that Gustafsson could do very well in a rematch with Rumble.
Oh, yeah. I don't know about that.
You don't think so? Because I think Rumble's one of these guys who's overconfident. He thinks he's got the big punch. And I think if Gustafsson can be cautious and protect himself early on, he could tire Rumble out. But I could be wrong. All right. So, lightweight, Stevie Ray versus Michael Labout.
Outside of, you know, I really enjoyed Mr. Vaughn's guitar work.
Did you really? A big blues man, are you?
Yeah. But well, you know, but he I mean, as an heir to Jimi Hendrix, he was apt. But you know,
heir to Jimmy. How was he the heir to? I never, you know.
Many people consider this. I don't consider that.
He definitely listened to Jimi Hendrix. Was a big fan of Jimi Hendrix, and as much as I hate White Boy Blues, I did like Stevie Ray Vaughan. But
Stevie Ray Vaughan, I think, was a Hendrix interpreter. Even though I thought the guy from ZZ Top was one of Jimi Hendrix's favorite guitar players. You know.
Yes, Billy Gibbons is the man's name. And although Billy's style isn't as I mean, he's more of a contemporary of Hendrix anyway, but that's neither here nor there. So we don't care about the fight, despite the Stevie Ray name. Now we move on to the big time, the 4-fight main card on UFC Fight Pass. So you have to close one stream and open another. That's what that means. So welterweight, Nicholas Dalby versus Darren Till.
I don't care.
I don't either, and I knew you wouldn't. All right, lightweight. This is one of the few where I was up in the air. Lightweight, Norman Park versus Reza Madadi.
I care.
You do care because
Reza and Norman, actually, I mean, they both earned a minor league amount of interest from me, but they could easily manage to. I mean, they just eked over the line into care, you know. And if this fight ends up being something that goes to a decision and it makes me feel like my soul has left my body, I will be doubly harsh on them and never forgive them for it.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe not never, but given the life cycle of a UFC mid-level fighter, it's unlikely that they're going to earn their way back in.
That's big talk, Mr. Robinson, but you and I both know that come the next time these guys fight, you'll have mostly forgotten what happened and have a vague memory of having cared in the past, and you'll say you cared again.
Oh, it depends on how bad of a fight it is.
Just like I don't think you're actually going to kick the monkey ass or the dishwasher installer. I think he'll probably.
No. He would. You know, many guys are tough on the phone.
I'm very tough on the phone, Eugene.
You know, in the early days of the internet, people were tough on the internet, except they didn't realize how easy it was to find them. I remember actually showing up to some guy's house from some music forum who got tough, and started ringing his doorbell and texting him on the phone that I was outside and that we should talk about our differences. And dude did not come out.
Do you know the name of the guy? He's got a huge podcast. His name's Michael something, and he's got a show on ITV now. Like, he's a comedian. He's sort of like Louis C.V.
Oh, Mark Maron?
Mark Maron, that's his name.
Yeah.
He had an episode where somebody was trolling him online, and he went to the comic book store where they were playing D&D and confronted the guys. And then
is this for real, or is this
it was on his TV show.
All right, okay.
And then he got humiliated by the whole gang. And his buddy, the guy from the Kids in the Hall who came along with him, they were all huge Kids in the Hall fans, and that guy took their side. So anyway.
Okay.
All right, so Reza Madani, we didn't mention, had that aggravated burglary conviction and prison sentence in the middle of his UFC career. So that kind of, in a perverse way, makes me like him, more interested in him. I don't know that I like him more.
It depends on what he stole and who he stole it from, you know?
I mean, isn't by definition getting convicted of aggravated burglary? I mean, aggravated.
I'm not quite sure. The cops have left here today. I could ask the cops if they were still here. But you know what? If a guy steals something from a store, if he steals something from a store, I don't tend to give a fuck. But if I catch
if it's a family-owned business,
yeah, that's kind of a drag. But but I feel more harshly about, like, if I catch a guy stealing my car stereo, I'm gonna beat him to win.
I find if I find somebody stealing my stuff, I'm pretty irate about it. But if they're stealing somebody else's stuff, then I'm more kind of open,
Yeah.
So anyway, so Patrick Holohan versus Louis Smolka, flyweights.
Yeah, I care because it's Smolka.
Because it's Smolka, because he's got I don't know. We've gotten him confused with the former flyweight with the big punch in the past. But Smolka has some punching power. He's a young kid too, and Patrick Holohan is somebody they talk about on the vivisections a lot. Did you know? You probably don't pay attention, but Zane and Connor have a whole type that they refer to. See, you can't even do the meme without getting stepped on. You can't even deliver it.
I deliver it. The best part about the meme is how uncomfortable you get, and you always deliver. So that makes it totally worth doing. Yeah.
It's a meta meme. Meta meme. The meme that it always catches me off guard.
The meme behind the meme. So,
but see, Patrick Holohan, they call him Patty Holohan, has become a meme on the vivisections because he typifies the kind of fighter. And it took me dozens of episodes that I was hosting to finally pay attention to what they're talking about. He's the kind of fighter who hasn't really bothered to learn a good 1-2 or how to slip a jab, but he's got an arsenal of spinning kicks and elbows and front flying snap kick, side twister shit. And so, anyway, so
the unfortunate aspect of a card like this, wherein you might discover a tomorrow star today. An unfortunate aspect of something like that is the fact that it doesn't achieve enough velocity to turn my mind away from everything else that's happening in the UFC.
You're not focused on this card because you're thinking ahead to Conor McGregor, Jose Aldo.
I'm thinking about the great Bloody Elbow thing yesterday, the financial breakdown.
John Nash, that was an excellent piece. He acquired all the data, all the reports from Moody's, Standard & Poor's, and Deutsche Bank, which to my knowledge hasn't been reported before.
Yeah, no, this is, you want to talk about MMA Journalist of the Year, that's it. I think that if there's any justice in the world, he should win it.
Are you still going to set yourself on fire when you don't win?
That's almost my out, because never in a million years would I have done what he did. I mean, that's the kind of shit I have to do in my real job.
He's been working on it for months.
Yeah, right, precisely. It was Brobdingnagian. I would gladly not set myself on fire for another 5 months because of that. I mean, however, since I believe that he will not get nominated, nor will he win for this, I'm still cleared to set myself aflame.
Okay. As long as there's still a go on the Eugene roaster.
On the auto da fe.
Auto da fe. Self-immolation is I prefer. All right.
It kicked off Arab Spring, and I fully expect this to kick off an MMA Spring.
I see. Freedom will be in the air, Eugene. Well, yes, mobs of people will throw armored transport vehicles off bridges, and it'll be all right. So now we come to the main event. Dustin Poirier. These are the lightweights. Dustin Poirier versus, why am I here, Joseph Duffy. He literally expressed shock at being in the main event of a UFC card.
Hmm.
This is the first time you've ever had to mull a headliner.
Yeah, and it's because of that 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 I'm of dual minds here. You know, I mean,
It's what he's done here is the you already went through this, but he's like a hot chick looked at him and he looked around to see who she was looking at. That's
yeah.
he betrayed a lack of self-confidence.
I mean, okay. Duffy's claim to fame is that he was the one guy to beat the
He arm triangled Conor McGregor.
That somehow I don't think is really enough. You know?
Really? He beat Conor McGregor. He finished him.
I'm going to go down the Miller Crossing Road, and I want you to look into your heart. You know,
you realize this is a 25-year-old movie that very few people even saw when it came out.
That's why I'm mentioning it, so they go look it up. You know,
because it's the Coen brothers, one of their best, based on a Dashiell Hammett novel, The Glass Key.
Not like their shitty Barton Fink. You know,
I didn't like Barton Fink either. I'm glad to hear you.
It was too there's a point where filmmakers get really satisfied with themselves, you know, and it's just like, I'm glad you guys think this is funny. I don't, you know. So I have to break this down into its component parts. Do I care that he got the drop on McGregor with the arm triangle? Okay, separate from that, do I care about anything that Dustin Poirier does?
Dustin Poirier has been fun to watch as a featherweight.
Really?
Yeah. He's the guy that snuffed out the future wife beater. Who was the horrible guy that allegedly sicked his pit bull on his wife?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I can't remember the dude's name, but let's see, who was that guy? Josh Grisby.
Oh, right.
That was Poirier's UFC debut, and he thrashed Grisby, and we didn't even know how richly Grisby deserved that beating.
You know what, man? This show is really about going with your heart, and I just don't give a fuck, man. I really don't. I am much more. If you're gonna honestly, you know, ask me to pull back the top of my head and peek inside, I'm much more obsessed with this continuing Ronda insanity. You know, I'm much more obsessed.
Did you hear they flew in a chef to Rio to make her hot wings while she was in Brazil?
Hot what?
Hot wings, like, you know, buffalo style hot wings, chicken wings with vinegar on them.
I guess you have to control your diet somehow, you know. But
I mean, if you want to eat lean cuisine, Brazil is one of the best places to go with the rice and the beans and the fruit.
But you don't want to get food poisoning, you know. You're on there with Shigella or the Shigella, that place in San Jose that was serving that seafood, you know. I just passed that place. I was actually going to get a burrito.
This is all news to me and most of our audience. What's the story?
Like 30 or 40 cases of Shigella came down from this Marisco place in San Jose, which is seafood tacos, you know. Shrimp and so on. So heavy fever, explosive diarrhea.
Shigella is no joke. That stuff will ruin a cruise ship. That's the stuff that gets loose on a cruise ship and they have to limp into port. Yeah.
This is how it made national news. So they shut this place down that I go by, and I mean,
Shigella also, you can't get rid of it by washing your hands. It can survive hot soap and water. So
this I did not know. So is it fecal related?
You got it. Yeah.
So all that ATM stuff you see in those adult movies is probably pretty bad for you.
It is bad for you, and I believe that they enema themselves so that they're not consuming fecal matter.
The supposed enema, pre-seen enema, but that doesn't always get gotten to, if you know what I mean.
I wouldn't want to,
based on my onset experience.
It seems like that's the kind of thing that the performer would like make sure happens if they're going to be doing that. But I guess if you're already doing ATM, which is a particularly vile practice.
What's vile to you is not so vile to other people.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to judge what people do. And in the heat of the moment, you're this and that and passion, et cetera, et cetera. But when it's a ritualized way to degrade women in porn movies, I would think that, and that's what it is. I mean, it's not like it's a loving act of
but
eroticism.
It's faux degradation, right? I mean, we can all.
Well, if they're doing the enema and everything, and they're hardened
well, even if it's not, even if it's
performers.
not, nobody is using a gun to get people in there, right?
Well, yeah, they're using money and drugs.
I mean, this is the thing that would mistake when I knew all these female porn stars. They would inevitably get these guys that they, not disparagingly called mooks, and these guys would always attempt to rescue them, and their form of rescue took the form of, I will buy you cars, I will pay for your townhouse, I will. And so they would rescue them.
Come on back to the VIP room, honey. She really likes me. I better get my checkbook because she really likes me.
But some of these guys.
Did you see the article in Las Vegas Review Journal about an unnamed Las Vegas businessman who was extorted for like $30,000 by a stripper that he flew to some international place, and apparently he'd been dropping $10,000 a go in the VIP rooms at the strip club for some time, and then only had sex with her months into this relationship. I'm like, you dropped $10,000 on a stripper and didn't even have sex? Like, these rates are
because she was smart and told them, I'm not a hooker.
It's special. Yeah, it's special.
Right.
Yes,
she may not have been a hooker, but 30,000 in, trips, I throw the guy a
strippers may or may not be hookers, but they're all con artists.
That's not true.
Come on, stripping is a con. Stripping is a 3-card money game.
It doesn't mean that the strippers are con artists.
I mean, 3-card money players are delivering entertainment.
Oh, yeah, but you don't go to them for entertainment. You go to them in the belief that you're going to win some money. Guys go to strippers. If you are not the kind of man who understands that they're doing a job, you know nothing of life.
That is every con works. The pigeon drop, every con, 3-card money, they all work on the premise that the people don't know anything about life.
Guy goes into a strip club, he wants to see titties. He gets titties. He wants to see ass, he gets the ass. He wants to see cooch, he sees cooch. He
gets a lap dance, maybe a little rubbing on the crotch.
He gets a lap dance, he gets a rubbing on the crotch. That's what he paid for. Anything else, that shit's in his mind. Oh,
she really liked me, Eugene. She really liked me.
You think
she seemed really interested in my stories about work.
Yeah, you think your waiter likes you?
He always talks to me and he smiles when he sees me.
Right. There's no self-interest. I mean, it's a service profession, man. You are being serviced. You're paying for something, It's like a dishwasher installed.
But the fact that all strippers know how to, or not all, but most know how to lead on and insinuate and imply, you don't think it's a con?
No, it's like, I tell you once, this porn star Olivia.
It's funny because my wife has been drumming into my head for years that it's a con and I shouldn't fall for it.
Yeah. You shouldn't fall for it. However, at one point, Olivia was doing this porn star I used to be friends with. She was doing this show, and she's got these huge fake knobs, right? And some guy goes, "Are they real?" And she just looks at him and goes, "They're as real as you want them to be." It's like, there's a point at which, you gotta say, the shit I'm hearing is so fucking stupid that, come on. You do know this is, the bartender really doesn't give a fuck about you. The waiter doesn't give a fuck about you.
The bartender's always there for me, listening to my problems, and always keeps my glass full.
Yeah. Oh, magically. And they, when I was in Vegas this past weekend, you're at the blackjack table. Guess what they give you when you're at the blackjack table? Free drinks.
Yeah.
Man, I wonder why they do that. They
They don't give you smart drugs or oxygen infusions.
Right. Is that a con? No, man, that's business.
That's totally a con. Casinos are ultimately a super con.
You know what? You don't have to take the free drinks. You don't have to gamble. You don't have to go to Vegas. You don't have to go to a strip club. But once you do,
sometimes you do have to go to a strip club, Eugene. Sometimes you do.
Nah, I've never had to. So
I see.
I find that there are places that breed impotency.
I definitely don't find him arousing sexually, but I do love to see con artists at work.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean,
I see you just admitted they were con artists. I
no,
win.
no, no. I was thinking about my 3-card Monty friend in Tel Aviv, who I said, "Hey man, show me how to do this." He just kind of looked at me sadly and was like, "Nobody who knows anything about life, my friend, does this." Yeah. I was like, all right, okay. I just wanted him to show me. We're sitting down having a drink.
You just wanted to learn the trick, but it's sleight of hand. You can't really. It's not like a. It's an artistry. It's not
Yeah,
a. It's
correct.
not a simple trick. It's
Correct.
physical
Yeah,
mastery.
yeah. Well, you know, I mean, I feel that way about any magician, you know, but they never tell. So,
Well, that's the whole thing with magicians. They've got to,
all
you
right.
know.
So anyway,
Okay.
off of strippers, porn stars, titties, and gambling, I'd have to say that if I look into my heart of hearts, I really don't care, man. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And I feel terribly bad for saying that, but we've had an interesting week, and it's shaping up to be a continued interesting week with Johnny Boney Joni. You know, he's the Twitter thing with him, and he's goading
Cormier.
Cormier, and Gustafson coming out, go, I'm in for the championship. I mean, these guys. I mean, what's kind of happening is DC, and it's like Lucy and Charlie Brown. Like Johnny Boney Joni is putting down the fucking football, and DC is like, I don't know if I'm gonna kick it. It looks like he's walking around at 225. Why am I even fucking? And he kicks the ball.
Well, he runs to kick it.
He runs to kick the ball, right? And of course, Jones hasn't made the announcement about going to heavyweight, but he hasn't lost the weight either.
So Cormier's announced he's taking some time off. He's not in any hurry to come back.
Yeah,
so
well,
that was his.
Yeah, which is a way to I mean, he's taking time off, which is good for him. But unless he's got clocks at home that are running backwards, I don't. This is a dangerous thing to do, So.
Indeed. And did you see Cyborg? Chris Cyborg posted a picture on Instagram of herself at 140 pounds.
Who did?
Chris Cyborg, Chris Justino.
Oh, so I mean, I think again, this is much more interesting to me. I think after Ronda will do anything possible, I think, to prop up Holly through this fight. I mean, she's already come out.
Did you see Oscar De La Hoya's hyping Holly Holm and hyping the fight?
Stop. I mean, this proxy war with boxing and MMA, it's ridiculous. And Ronda's already said, I want this to go as long as possible. She's gonna prop this woman up through 5 rounds to make believe like this is something. Come on, just stop.
She's not gonna prop her up. She's gonna snuff her in 1 round, just like she always does. Ronda's too impatient to.
Yeah, maybe. But in any case, that is the next announcement. I mean, so I find that much more compelling, and I guarantee you, it could be her last fight. If depending on when the Ms. Marvel thing drops, if it happens or doesn't happen. But you have to understand, people are like, man, Ronda's having a good run. You have to understand that once you're represented by a creative artist or who's the other big one, William Morris, that shit comes your way because you've got some junior agent or maybe a less senior agent who doesn't drive that Mercedes fucking home unless they get you. This is this is why Henry Rollins had a TV show. Unless a friend of mine was represented by William Morris and she went to a party with who was that guy who was Tony Danza? Tony Danza's birthday party.
I believe you meant to say the great Tony Danza.
The great Tony Danza's 50th birthday party, and she said, I was represented by William Morris, but I knew I was in trouble when I looked over and saw my agent at Tony Danza's 50th birthday party dancing on the buffet table.
Yeah, that's somebody who's a little too comfortable with their place in the world.
And they got fired from William Morris, and so went my friend's chances of, getting high-paying gigs.
Well, it's a brutal world. And speaking of brutal world,
so are you saying you care about this headliner?
I do, because I care about Poirier and I care about Duffy. I want to see him build up a Duffy McGregor fight eventually. If McGregor, one way or another, McGregor's going to lightweight, and this would be a perfect welcome to the division fight for him. So I want to see Duffy win this, but Poirier is no joke, very tough kid. So I care about it. I mean, I'm not going to actually watch it because I got to go to my wife's cousin's wedding in LA this weekend. But
you're going to be in Los Angeles. All right.
Yeah. Sunny LA. So anyway, I care and I'll watch it.
Raining and flooding there, last I heard.
Oh, you know, I don't, that's such as life. It's
And there were drive-by shootings, but have fun.
Hey, I'm from Texas. There's like I'm going to be worried about gunplay somewhere else. I mean,
What's the deal with this guy, man? Has he been arrested yet? The guy running down motorcyclists?
that 68-year-old man, he was arrested. Yes,
Good.
yes, and charged. Yes, yes. So that was a viral video, justice in action. That was.
What was he saying? I don't care. Is that what?
I don't care. He was saying, I don't care. And apparently he had been arrested in the past for terroristic threats and a number of racist incidents.
When I used to ride a motorcycle, I used to have an Eddie Lawson KZ1000 R2, the Eddie Lawson replica, super fast, super bike, And you can split lanes in California. The law is that you have to keep it, I think, either 30 miles an hour or 35 miles an hour. And I pull through and I go, traffic starts to narrow. And I go, oh, shit, I'll wait for it to open up again. And I try to pull through again, it narrows again. And then I'm suddenly aware of the fact that the guy in the car in front of me is attempting to prevent me from splitting lanes. Unclear on the law as he is. He's using, a vehicle that's several thousands, 2,000 pounds to correct my behavior. And I fucking pull up next to him and I look at him and he's like, what are you going to do? And I unzip my coat and dig my hand in the guy, then he dropped back. It's like, come on, man.
What were you going to do if he pulled a gun out?
I just shot him.
You would have shot him?
If he pulled the gun out, I have to shoot him.
You have to shoot him.
You know what? I have to.
Did you see the thing in New Mexico today where somebody killed a 4-year-old girl in a road rage incident?
In Mexico?
In New Mexico, which is in the United States.
I kind of avoided that. What happened?
I don't know the whole story. All I saw was the headline: road rage incident leaves 4-year-old girl dead. Something tells me the 4-year-old wasn't brandishing a firearm. Although, you never know. We've had a whole spate of toddlers shooting.
We just had a 6-year-old shoot a 3-year-old.
Yeah, but that was a Chicago gangbanger, so they put him in jail. Now, if he had been a white guy with
no,
permit.
No. I'm talking about the 6-year-old.
Yeah, but the dad was a former gangster who said he had the gun on top of the refrigerator because he was afraid of his former colleagues in the gang, and they're throwing the book at the guy.
Right.
So, So anyway, as a black guy, if I were you, I would not be brandishing a firearm. You're not going to get an even shake.
Well, you look at a black guy who's a Stanford grad, who at the time was a business owner.
You know the Malcolm X joke.
The upstanding member of the community.
You know the Malcolm X joke about what do you call a black man with a PhD, don't you?
Yeah, I've heard that before. But however, in this instance, that guy was going to go one way or the other, and I was going to go on my merry way.
I see. Well, I can't say I've not had my share of road rage incidents either, but most of which.
But this is the thing. It's like, I've never done that. I have never. I mean, the benefits of riding a fucking motorcycle and taking your life in your hands is that you can split the fucking lanes. What do I give a fuck?
Some people don't like to see people having a good time, Eugene.
Yeah, joy kills.
I personally cannot stand to see people having a good time, and I don't try to run over motorcycles, but when they're splitting lanes going right past me, ooh.
Stop it.
All right, so we can wrap this. So we don't care about that.
So I don't care, but you said
I care. I care about Duffy and Poirier.
So who's your pick?
I'm rooting for Duffy for business interests, but I'm picking Poirier. I'm not convinced about Duffy yet. So
yeah. All right. I mean, again, the thing is, I'm like, I don't know if you, I actually bought, well, I didn't buy it. I used my points to get it. It's called, by this cat from Slate. It's called The Devil's Chessboard, the book about the biography on Allen Dulles.
Oh, I heard about this. He alleges Dulles, the former head of the CIA, as a psychopath, which is no shock at all. I mean, how are you going to be the head of the CIA and not be a psychopath?
Back in the 50s and the 60s, and
my cousin was the head of not covert operations, but clandestine operations for the CIA, and he denied for decades that he worked for the CIA. He even testified at Iran-Contra. He was like, oh, no, I'm an undersecretary. I'm a deputy ambassador. No, I work for the Department of Defense. Then he had to testify at the Iran-Contra, and they identified him as a CIA agent. Even after that, he was still telling his mom, no, that was a mix-up. They got that wrong at the congressional hearing. Yeah. Finally, when he was outed on CNN, he admitted it. And then he was in charge of the whole invasion of Afghanistan in 2001, the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And at every family reunion, I'm always like, how many people has he tortured? And I love the guy. He's a great guy, family member. And I'm always like, yeah, you know, like.
Well, that's, you know, if guy's a plumber, leaves the work at home, you know, I mean, leaves the work at work, you know, come home and, you know.
But hairballs and poop are a little different than ripping people's fingernails out. And
well, the question is, if you were in a chair and he was standing in front of you.
I've seen Brazil. You know, where Michael Palin's the guy's family friend, and at the end he's on Palin's examination table. I know how it plays out. Dude's going to do his job. Like.
Yep. Yeah. When I was interviewing Kevin Weeks, Whitey Bulger's guy, I was like, I had no doubt in my mind that if the phone rang and the order came through, you know, it's like, man, you know, that great line that their parents, when they beating their kids was commonplace, used to use. You know, this hurts me more than it hurts you. It's like I doubt that, Jack. but I understand you're a person of developed sensibilities. Okay, you know, I mean. Or like in that movie Bugsy, where Dustin Hoffman says to Bruce Willis, "Would you rather be where you are, or would you rather be where I am?"
You're mixing up Bugsy and Ragtime again.
Ragtime? No, really?
Dustin Hoffman plays Dutch Schultz
in Ragtime.
In Ragtime.
Okay, Bruce Willis was in Bugsy.
But Dustin Hoffman wasn't in Bugsy. Are you thinking of Warren Beatty?
Who gave that speech to Bruce Willis as he sits with his feet in concrete?
That's not Bugsy.
I'm not saying it is. I'm confused. So
I think that's Dustin Hoffman. Because Dustin Hoffman, Dutch Schultz killed Bo Weinberg by putting him in concrete.
Okay. So this movie. So what was that movie?
I believe that was Ragtime. Let's see. Dutch Schultz. Dustin Hoffman, Dutch Schultz. Billy Bathgate. My bad. It was Billy Bathgate. It's by the author of Ragtime.
Yale doctoral whose kid I used to go to summer camp with.
You know? I see. Was he a punk?
No, he was a nice guy, and I didn't have bad feelings about him until he got on this recent campaign of everything should be free always. There should be no such thing. You know, the Lawrence Lessig deal. There's no such thing as intellectual property. It's like, you know, all right, man.
That's not what Lessig says. And I know.
I talked to Lessig about it, and he was talking about fair use issues mostly. But this pervasive idea that everything should be free for all time for everybody, I find disturbing.
Because you fancy yourself some sort of intellectual property magnate based on your Oxbow holdings.
The fact that people can get my stuff for free puts me in a strange position. All right. I mean, real Oxbow fans, you know.
I paid for mine.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, I'm glad to pay for. I'm not, you know.
Although somebody bootlegged me some Whipping Boy stuff, and I believe his name is Eugene S. Robinson.
Did I really?
He did. I think so.
What did I do?
You hooked me up with all the Whipping Boy stuff.
What did I send you?
MP3s.
No way.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. I don't think you sent me CDs.
I must have been fucking high. I didn't do this at all. I just sent you YouTube links, right?
I don't know. I really don't know the details.
Yeah, okay.
But anyway, that's neither here nor there. We need to wrap up the show. So what tie up your Billy Bathgate concrete shoes thing?
No, just that, you know, I mean, you know, you're talking about this relative of yours. I mean, yeah, we would always. It's pretty clear, man. And this is, you know, I don't want to be the guy who's about to die. Yeah, you know, if it's to kill or be killed, the very Christian impulse to take the weight of the world and be killed. Yeah, that's good, man. But that's not where most of us are living. You know, I mean, this is one of my favorite, which is strange because in general I really hate cowardice, but I really like how cowards think. You know, like my current idol is Francisco Schettino. Do you know who this is?
I do not.
He's the captain of the Concordia.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, he dumped the whole cruise ship and.
Yeah, you know, first of all, I fell in the lifeboat. Okay, so he fell in the lifeboat, and then he ends up back home in his apartment.
Yes. Back
home at his fucking apartment, and then they call him at home, and he's like, "I'm back home," and they're like, "You get back out there." He's like, "Hey, it's fucking dark and cold out there. They're like, you got
I'm off the clock, man.
I'm like, it's like, because, much like the cartoons that show this.
It's like, what do you think this is? The SS Minnow? I'm not going. It's a cruise ship. I'm not going down with the ship.
There was another guy who did the same thing, and they gave him a hard escape from the cruise ship. Another captain, and they said the captain's supposed to go. He goes, that's in the movies. My obligation is to get to a safe place as quickly as possible so I could direct the rescue efforts. And that guy got away with it. Scatino, of course.
Well, going back to your apartment is pretty clear negligence there. So.
Well, yeah, I think the guy was just, he had his girlfriend on the boat, and then, he was just maybe trying. I don't know.
He ditched his girlfriend on the boat too, or?
Yeah, no. I guess he must have, right? Fucking A, man.
That is craven.
Yeah, so I got it in again, like, I'll give you a prime example of the cowardice that I don't like. It's like, if there is a bully and you're not standing up to a bully, that's the kind of where, in other words, when you have a fighting fucking chance and you're backing off because you're having a crisis of confidence, that I fucking hate.
And as a rule, bullies back down when confronted.
Yeah, as a general rule. And even if they don't, sometimes in this instance, it's better to take the beat.
I always found growing up in Texas, taking an ass beating and at least getting one shot in generally meant you weren't going to get beat up again and again by the same guy.
Yep. You got your win-loss in place, whatever. He can move on. Both of you can move on. But the kind of cowardice that that I really enjoy, it's the kind of cowardice where it makes sense because 99 times out of 100, anybody would want to do the same thing. I see that lifeboat, I'm going for the lifeboat.
Looking out for number one.
Yeah, hold on 1 second. I gotta let the guy in.
What? Now he's walking off on the show. I'll do the sign out. Come back and say goodbye.
Okay, I got one.
All right. So that was our show. Give us a thumbs up on YouTube. Subscribe to MMANation.com on YouTube. Subscribe to MMA Nation on iTunes for the audio only version. We'll be back tomorrow with Alexi Old for If I Did It, and Zane Simon, Dallas Winston, and Connor Rubish will be back for the MMA Vivisection for UFC Dublin, and they'll have another episode for the Bellator event that's coming up on Friday, which we have a blanket don't care about. You missed your chance to do your memes on Dallas Winston.
Let me tell you about that guy.
There you go. And Zane Simon. You can't when you're cued, you can't even do it. All right, so they'll be back tomorrow with the MMA Vivisection. We'll have an If I Did It with Alexi Old. I don't know what the topics are yet, but I'm betting that the UFC Ireland t-shirt is going to be one of the topics that we talk about. And Zane will be back with the 6th round after the fights on Saturday. Eugene will be back with Knuckle Up on Sunday.
No,
and next week
on Monday.
Well, you're going to be recording it live on YouTube on Sunday.
We had 18 viewers when I recorded live. If you're on the Twitter thing, I tweet out when I'm about to do it on Sunday. But I got a competition on Sunday, so it'll probably be late in the day.
Late in the day. All right. So, and then next week there's no UFC on Halloween, so we'll have an If I Did It. I'm not sure what else we'll have. And then back every Saturday in November there's the UFC, so we'll have full coverage of all that. Follow us on Twitter at KidNate, at Eugene S. Robinson. You can read me at bloodyelbow.com. You can read Eugene at Aussie.com. Sometimes buys his Fightland, and you can always buy his books, Fight and Long Slow Screw.
I got my hands on some of them. Long Slow Screw is one, and then The Inimitable Sounds of Love is a play, but I don't imagine too many of you in the plays, even if they are.
Well, reading plays. I mean, unless you're an actor, like, who wants to read a play?
Not a threesome.
But it's about a threesome. Hey, Anyway, so that's our show. Adios, MMA aficionados. We'll see you next time. Thanks, Eugene.
All right, man. Later.